Hello everyone. So today, literally, I just finished my sketchbook, and so I wanted to do a sketchbook flip through. Yeah, because I've never done one, and this is like my first real sketchbook that I've finished front to back, and I'm very proud of her. So just starting off with the cover is a couple cutouts from magazines and some 3D stickers. Super cute, kind of going with fish and cat themed, and then I just laminated it with packing tape. But also want to apologize because half of this sketchbook is one way and then half of it is the other, so I'm just gonna be showing it like this, and hopefully that'll be fine. This first page was actually a school assignment. It was a project, just some doodles. There was this one Instagram model that I used her as a reference. I'm not sure of her though, unfortunately. At this point, I remember I was in the car riding to the airport, and for some reason I brought my sketchbook with me. Normally I don't have it with me, and I was listening to, I think it's Messages from the Stars, and it sparked something in me for the upcoming fashion show of that year. So I based my entire line off of this bubble chart, which was my first step in the in my process. And then on the side is just a buttonholes for dummies or idiots, and because I just keep forgetting how to do buttonholes on my machine. So yeah, just a bunch of mood boards from here for several pages. These are all found from Pinterest. A little closer look. I tried to make the board and then kind of print out all the pictures and then organize them, kind of categorize them. So this is kind of architecture and an interior design. This is my angels and wings section. Like I said, this is, I think there's only a couple pages that are upside down like this, but yeah, so this is makeup looks and then other actual fashion pieces, which I'm so sorry it's upside down. And then jewelry, accessories on one side, more accessories, nails. I was super into white and lace and different delicate fabrics, I guess you could say. Yeah, I had a whole page on candles and ties and loose ribbon and stuff like that. I'm sorry, this is a terrible angle. It took me way too long to figure out how to set up my camera, so this is as good as it's gonna get. And then this page was for the swatches of different fabrics that I was thinking of using for the fashion show. So obviously I went through pretty much every single white fabric. And then here are my actual sketches for the show. These were, so I have a smaller notebook that I do my really, really rough sketches in. So these just happen to make it into the main book. These are older sketches that happen to fit with the theme, so I was able to kind of work with what I had made previously, alterations that I made to the design. At first I wanted to, I think, put wings on the back, and then I ended up doing a large bow. And yeah, this whole outfit was made from the same lace, or it was a stretchy knit lace. I had a concept of using a male model, but I ended up getting all female models, so I went with a very feminine vibe instead. These did not make the cut. I was sketching and it was just not working out for me when I was making these ones. So I just completely skipped out, and I was you know what, we're just not gonna talk about it. This was probably my most favorite piece from the show. I literally have them right in front of me. This is a white denim skirt that I made for my friend Mandy for the show, and I hand cut out each of the feathers and sewed them on separately as embellishments or appliques, and then I hand stitched them to the actual skirt when it was all done, and it was a lot of work, very much so. Here were some accessory ideas that I had. This was the most difficult item that I had. Originally, I wanted it to be a bodycon dress with this giant, what's it called? Train with like a cross on it. But the fabric that I had wasn't stretchy enough to really like fit this way, and I've never worked with knits in that way, so it was just like kind of overreaching. So what I ended up having to do, I don't know if I actually drew down the sketch, but what I ended up doing, I did a oversized button-up dress, and I really like try to cinch it as much as I could to her back. And I pretty much like got all the leftover fabric, I put it in the back, and I made like a dart in the back. And then I covered up the dart with this cross, like a giant cross in the back of it. And I thought it turned out pretty cool. But yeah, that one definitely was the most difficult. This one was the most fun that I had with. I made this like silk slip dress, and I hand drew all of the eyeballs on it with Sharpie. So this was like my ideas for how to do it. This was my practice run on the actual fabric. This is the fabric I used. It's like more of a satin mock silk, you could say. And then I found these clear acrylic chains at a LA jewelry store that I ended up using for that. More just rough sketches. Oh, this was what I was talking about. The button-up dress that I just cinched in a lot, and then I made like a giant applique in the back, and it turned out really cute. Then after that, the show is over, so now I'm going on different ideas. And I was super into like patchwork, and I still am. This is still following through today. But I was just thinking of like a bunch of different things that I could do patchwork with, or like just kind of choppy designs. Yeah, I was just kind of rough sketching, getting some ideas that I got from Pinterest and stuff like that. And then here, I wanted to remember that I got all these buttons, spent like $30 on buttons, and wanted to remember for like cost analysis later. More patchwork. Was considering doing like patchwork bears for a while. Okay, sexy bear. This is my measurements for the bags that I make, which is right there. That's my bag. More patchwork ideas. More patchwork ideas. A lot of these did not come into play. And then I was like, okay, I really want to make another collection of some sorts. So I made another bubble diagram, which really does help you like kind of zone into what you're doing. And I highly recommend it. More cutouts from magazines. Following every bubble graph, bubble diagram, whatever, is gonna be just a bunch of cutouts. So yeah, with this one is a lot of natural elements to it, and a little bit of like gross natural elements, like bugs, more bugs, anatomical hearts. This was like a really cool picture I found on Pinterest. Again, okay, these printed pictures are all from Pinterest, and then these ones are from like Vogue magazine mainly. But this is like a entirely crocheted diagram of the human body, like skeleton and organs and stuff like that, but like so cute. And I also really liked like ragdolls and things like that. These were like, I don't know what they're called, but it's like they're journals, but they're made entirely of cloth, and they just look like they're decaying, and that was really what my vibe was at this time. Pop culture references, so Edward Scissorhands, Frankenstein, Dr. Stein, my bad, Junji Ito, Caroline, Pokemon, and then more pop culture. This one's my fave. Get the body you always wanted this summer. And it's two girls digging up a body. Love it. This was like stitching ideas, ways to use my machine to get effects that I wanted, kind of knots and makeup. And I like the comparison between like the trash bags and her makeup. Then was getting to the sketches. I was kind of going for like creepy crawly vibe, but I ended up literally not doing anything with all of that research that I put into like making a whole line. So hopefully I'll do something in the future, but who knows. Then after that, I really wanted to advance my sketching. So I was like super into just sketching every day, trying to fill up my notebook, my sketchbook. So from here on out, it's just like a bunch of sketches. This one's probably my favorite sketch that I came up with. Yeah, notebooks and stuff. This one I tried to make I don't know what it's called. Like, I tried to put it online to put it on a t-shirt, and then this hand specifically was giving me the most trouble, so I just stopped. I just stopped doing it, and I never finished it. And that's all I have to do left is just that hand. I got everything else. Anyway, love her. This was my first, like, graphic design that I made for my Supa brand that I ended up screen printing on a couple bags. And yes, super fun. I had some ideas of doing like shrink-a-dink keychains, so these were some ideas for this. More just fashion design ideas, random sketches. This one ended up being my business card front, my business card logo. Super cute. At this point, I found my crayons. I literally remember this. I found my crayons, and I was like, I'm gonna doodle with them. So I just made a whole doodle page. This is an old drawing I did, I think when I was in high school, I want to say. But I was at my friend's house, and I did that. Took it home. Here we are now. This is what notes for what I want on my business card. Not really sure why I had to write it down, but you know. And then I was super focused on like, I need to make a signature hand. I thought this was my signature like drawing. And I was like, well, now I need to make a signature hand because I don't know what I'm doing with making hands. So I thought this was the way that I was gonna go, and that was not the way I was gonna go. This is my machine, which is literally right there. Oh. A couple other sketches from my mini notebook that I put in here because I like them. And then here's some thrift flip ideas. I got this dress. It was a hand-me-down. And I wanted to do something with it, which I still haven't done something with it, so I might actually do that. But it's like a silvery dress, so, and a nice material. So like, might as well. Some more ideas of just stuff to do. Just practicing with some hands. Just more sketch pages. This one, I was trying to figure out how to model my bags to post them online. Still trying to figure that out. And then here are my bag ideas. So this is where I came up with the idea for kind of my anatomy bags that I'm working on right now. A couple other extra ones. Not sure if I'll do all of these. I ended up doing this one. I think I drew this after the fact that I did it, just to fill up space in my notebook, but she's still cute. Dimensions. This was for an assignment. This was another assignment. Not sure why I did that in here. I think this was done entirely out of highlighters, I want to say, and markers that were running out. More designs for bags. You could really tell I was really into bags. And then here is when the next fashion show is starting. So the theme is camp, and the first thing I thought of was like flowers and botany, which like natural camp, I guess you could say. So I had this idea that I was gonna do like an orchid, but that's quickly changed. I did come up with this idea with like a dewdrop headpiece that would just drape down, but that was like way too complicated and too much for what I was doing. So I decided against it, but I would still love to do that in the future. Then I decided to do this pitcher plant dress idea, and I was really rocking with this. So that's pretty much what I ended up with. I ended up doing a bunch of pitcher plant ideas. Pretty much, yeah. I was trying to figure out, because this one was like a little too droopy for me. I think the neck was really tripping me up. But I wanted it to be like a bubble skirt vibe. Like I wanted it to bubble down, which is like a common theme throughout all of them. So I was messing around with different collars, if I should do a shawl or like a jacket on top, making it short or layered. And then I had this idea for like a hood. I don't really know. This was the end result, was that it was going to be a skirt and that I was like being eaten. And so my top half was going to be a fly and my bottom half was the pitcher plant. And then this is also Victreebel, which is the pitcher plant Pokemon. He's amazing and we love him. And then this was a blue dollar bill from Key Glock concert. Thank you, Key Glock. Here is the fabrics that I used. Literally went to Home Depot with my boyfriend and picked out these colors, which I thought would be best for the color palette. And then I was trying to figure out, because for the finished result of the skirt, I wanted to do these like splash marks to kind of match, you know, like the markings on a pitcher plant. So I tried it with muslin, but muslin's actually very different. I realized from the fabric that I was using, which was more of a taffeta. So I ended up experimenting on both, but yes. And what I used for the paint actually was a mixture of water and acrylic paint. And so that thinned out the paint a lot and got like the water drop that I wanted. And yes, here's more upcycling ideas. More sketches. And then this was kind of like with the fly, when I was studying the fly wings, because I made some fly wings. And I think she turned out pretty cool. Like I did like a little pointillism, I don't know what you call it, vibe for the whole thing. She's cute, she's cute. Here's when I realized I was in my fish era. So, fish, more fish. Someone handed me this at the Renaissance Fair. Thought it was cute with like different symbols and stuff. More bag ideas. A little sketch I did. I actually colored this using eyeshadow. And there's like barely any rub off. So that's what I was kind of experimenting with this. It's like how well it's able to be used. She's cute though. And she was cute to blend. Pretty easy. Love it. This one's my collection that I'm doing right now, which was just like more ideas if I wanted to expand from bags into clothes or something. So this is just kind of more ideas I may or may not do. I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe in the future or not, I don't know. And then I was doing a drawing, like a watercolor, but I wasn't sure yet what medium I would use. So I tested all of my blue eyeshadows because I knew I wanted like a blue eyeshadow theme for the sketch. So yeah, here's just all my blue eyeshadows swatched in case I wanted to use them for the thing, which I ended up using none, but that's okay. Nice to know what kind of blue eyeshadows I have. This, I went over to my friend's house and a bunch of my friends got together and we all made some collages. So this was the one that I came up with. Very woe is me. Swatching some blue markers that I have and just adding it, making it kind of interesting to this other collage. This was my kind of draft of the sketch that I was doing. I wanted to see if I wanted to use markers, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't know how to use markers, and that really would have ruined like a perfectly good sketch that I did. Pretty Boys Cry, enough said. Love it, love it. Just another collage. Can never go wrong with it. Some more collages to go along with the doll parts collection that I'm doing right now. I got these, well, I've had these markers, they're acrylic markers, and I never really realized because I would just use them to kind of perfect my tag, I guess you could say, but never realized you could actually use them in like paper, and I feel really dumb about that because I have like 10 colors and I was just using them like randomly. Here was this cool yarn that I got from my friend. Another quick sketch of anatomical heart, and this is a Alexander McQueen dress from a Vogue magazine that I had. So pretty much these are all patterns that I used, made and used for the doll parts bags, all taped very carefully. Just used one piece of like tape and I rolled it around and stuck it to the back so that I could take it on and off if I wanted to make another piece with it. And then of course swatches. Love a swatch. This one I was kind of messing with like the layers of pages. Also, I'm like running out of pages at this point, so I really just want to get through them. But yeah, kind of a fun thing that I did sporadically. This queen with doll parts lyrics from Hole in the background. Realized afterwards that I messed up. Here, she looks kind of weird from this angle. She also looks weird from that angle, but you know what, it's fine. Realized like her bang didn't come in the front from the back. She doesn't have hair on her other side, is what I messed up on. But I do really like how the lips turned out, and that's pretty much it. And I kind of like how I did the hair, but if I did it correctly on the full thing, I think it would have turned out a lot cuter. But that is okay. Here is actually the sketch that I based this off of. But yeah, this was super fun. I love doing like super detailed sketches. It's very soothing for me, especially when my brain feels kind of all over the place. This was the original sketch that I did for the brain. And then I kind of saw some like letters within the like wrinkles of the brain. So that got me like my brain a turning to do my brand name Supa inside of the wrinkles, amongst the wrinkles, you could say. And here's some renderings that I did just on transfer paper. Oh, hello. And yeah, this was the final one that I came up with. And then my last page is just the pattern for the brain. I individually cut out all of the wrinkles. So it was kind of a lot of pieces that I didn't want to lose or just use too much tape because I'm running out of tape. And yeah, I didn't want to lose like these little pieces. Like this was one piece right here in the back. This is one piece, another. And so just to keep it all together, I just got the main piece of the brain, which is easy to replicate and I don't need. So I made that into like kind of a pocket and I put all of the little pieces inside of it. And yeah, and that is it. Little sneak peek is this is how the brain turned out. Pretty proud of it. And yeah, so like I was saying, just to show you what I was talking about here, each piece is individually cut out. So I sewed it all together and then made majority of the pieces puffy. So I put in some stuffing into it, gave it some dimension. And yeah, can't wait to throw it on a bag and finish her up. But yes, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Kisses.